Welcome to the Rad Dad Redemption Podcast. Here's your hosts, Drew and Dex.
All right, we're recording.
We're back. We're live. We're in studio.
In the dungeon.
Yeah. Did you listen to our last episode?
I did. I kind of have to when I edit them.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
But I also listen to them so we get like some listeners on Spotify. I'm trying to like really bump that number.
Yeah.
So I got to give us at least one listen. So I always like listen to it while I'm editing, and then again,
different account, burner account.
Oh yeah, I actually hire like just a group of Filipinos for like 40 cents an hour just on 400 different smartphones.
That is a thing, right?
I've heard that's a thing, yeah.
We could do that. We've got that kind of money. We got that kind of cash flow, especially because we're sitting in greatness right now.
Yeah.
Dex, what happened on the weekend?
I am the funniest person in Okotoks.
Can confirm.
Yeah, like
you
officially
won the title.
Yeah. I won the stand-up comedy showdown.
So was it an aggregate of all the scores?
It was.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I apparently, according to the judges or the tally counters, I greatly increased my previous high score.
Like as your last set, that was the best you did.
Yeah. And I
No
felt
way.
like it was the best.
Okay. What
Also.
jokes did you go with?
I did a Sydney Sweeney joke about the ad that's so controversial, the American Eagle one.
What?
Have you not seen the ad?
No, I live in a hole. What is it? What's this?
Okay, so this is good feedback, right? Because when I was going last, right? So two people went up and they talked about this Sydney Sweeney American Eagle ad, but they talked about it, and so when they started this joke, I was like, "Fuck!" Like they're killing my material here. Half my set is about this fucking ad, and but they didn't explain it, and so a lot of people were like, they just assumed everybody had seen this viral ad, but what it was Sydney Sweeney, and she's like on a chaise lounger. And so in my set, I explained the ad, which people...
Yeah. What is a chaise lounger?
People gave me feedback that was like, it was nice you explained the ad because I had no idea about it. So I wasn't getting these other jokes. Anyway, she's like buttoning up her jeans. It's an American Eagle ad. She's buttoning up her jeans. She's a very attractive young actress, right? And she's talking, she's like, oh, jeans determine your eye color, your hair color, and she's like blah 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 blah, and then she's like, my genes are blue, right? Playing on like genes and genetics, right?
Yeah, like the pants.
Yeah.
Okay,
And,
I'm with you.
Yeah, little wordplay, and then at the end they come in and the announcer's like, Sydney Sweeney wears American Eagle, or no, Sydney Sweeney has great genes is the announcer tagline, and she's like walking off set, and so the controversy came from a lot of blue hairs on the internet. They were saying that it was racist, like it was like eugenics. They're implying that Sydney Sweeney is genetically superior.
Yeah, Aryan race. I gotcha.
And
okay.
so I was kind of going, and my joke was like, I'm not here to like pontificate about racism. I'm not experienced in that as a white man that grew up in Okotoks. Like I'm pretty like oblivious to racism, if we're being honest, right? And so
I don't see color.
Yeah. Right. And so I was like, the whole joke was, some people heard that, they heard that tagline, Sydney Sweeney has great genes, and they heard white is right. And I was like, I heard that, and I heard Sydney Sweeney's mom has great tits. That was my joke. And then I expanded on that by saying I Googled like family photos of Sydney Sweeney and her mom.
Is the mom stacked?
She is hot, yeah. She's total MILF. And then the joke was also like her dad's pretty fucking hot too. And so I was like, she comes from a storied line of MILFs and DILFs. And yeah. And then I did a joke about Superman.
I'm glad you threw back DILF.
Yeah.
There was a point in time where we were going to call this the DILF cast. Way back when.
Anyway, I feel like it was one of my best sets.
Yeah.
The crowd was great. I will say all the other comedians that went up like had their best sets of the entire
So it really came around. It all came together.
Everything was really good, and it was fun being last because people were already like laughing really hard. Everybody had done really well, and then I went up and I fucking killed it. But it was like all these like the brickwork had been laid for me to go up there to like a really hot crowd and stuff. So it was fun. It was a great night. Had lots of friends come out and support me, which was cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a shot. That's a drive-by. I talked a big game.
It was
like
not
I was always
shot
going to
at
come.
you. No,
I was going
it's
to
not
come. I was going to be there. I was vacationing with my family. What time was this Saturday night? I was already buckled by that point, rinsed as you do on family vacation.
Shocker.
Yeah, yeah. Could have guessed. Playing telestrations, okay. But I did think of you. I got your text and I read it aloud to everyone. Said Dex did really, really good tonight.
Yeah.
And he's got some good genes.
I've got great genes.
Yeah. Congrats, buddy. So you are the funniest man in Okotoks.
Yeah. And until next weekend, I'm also co-reigning chili champion. Like, I own Okotoks.
Oh, I wasn't even going to tell the fans that because I also fucked that one up. The chili,
You're just really busy.
Yeah, the chili cook-off, it came around this year. And truth be told, everyone, it's like a huge amount of work. It's an insane...
And money.
Cost.
Like, we spent, like, what, $350 last year?
Something like that.
On
Yeah.
ingredients and stuff.
We had to source. You go back and watch that story on IG. You had to source all that Baja Blast and all that corn and those fucking poblanos.
Yeah.
And then we shit all over it, and we told people to listen to our podcast. And that was like the first time we'd experienced negative reviews.
Yeah.
Because people are eating our chili. They're like, "What do you guys do? What's your thing?" Like, we have a really good podcast.
Which, up until that point, had all 5-star reviews.
Yeah, it's just you and me.
And then the weekend after the
All
chili
the Filipinos.
contest, we're getting, like, 1-star reviews.
And we were pretty hard. If it sounds like we're talking to another person, it's because we fucking are.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by my dear friend, a guest of the podcast, Mr. Darrell. Do we do last names on the podcast? We're just going to go Darrell from Good Enough Gaming Podcast.
That works.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Sorry you had to sit through all that preamble. You're, like, just kind of nodding along over there. Like, yeah. Okay.
No, I think it's great that you're the funniest man in Okotoks out of 4 people. I think that's awesome.
I'm top 25%, baby.
Darrell's from a big city, okay? All right.
Yeah, the big city of Strathmore. So big.
Big gene pool out there.
You got great genes. Same genes as your cousin.
They're called hand-me-downs, but
Oh my goodness. Okay. So yeah, Darrell, we apologize for that. That is like we've done this to all of our 6 guests. Is they don't know what to expect. They're like, "What's the plan? What are the questions?" And then we just talk about our random stuff, which has become our bit. We dive in.
Yeah. There's planning is loose.
but that's the best part.
Yeah.
Is it's supposed to be organic and it's supposed to be fun right off the hop.
Yeah, it's our brand. It was funny. Our entire podcast, the last one, we came in with a plan, and then we hit the hour 12 minute or hour 12 mark, and we're like, we haven't talked about what we plan to talk about at all. So let's just scrap
completely
that.
like turfed it on the fly.
Yeah.
Anyway, we can't do that today because we actually brought somebody here.
Yeah, no. We're gonna stick to the plan. Congratulations, Dex. What's
Thanks.
next? Are they like? Did they give? I saw they gave you a T-shirt. Are they gonna bring you back for an encore?
Well, so they gave me like a really nice sweater, like really nice fabric on this sweater, and then they also gave me.
Is it American Eagle?
No, that's too controversial right now.
Fair enough.
It's a Hubtown sweater. And then they also gave me, I guess, unbeknownst to me and anybody else, they had been setting aside a share of the beer sales.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, and so I got some cash too.
Sweet.
Whoa. Okay.
So I'm a pro.
That's better than 15% off at Subway. For
Yeah. Unreal.
Yeah, and they are running it back, so they're going to be doing it again, starting September 20th, and they're calling it the Looney Bucket now. So people you come with like loonies, or maybe you can get loonies from them. I don't know. But you put loonies in the bucket of the comedian that you think is the funniest, and at the end, the comedian gets to take home however many loonies they made.
Oh, dude, strippers. Like that's
exactly where my mind went
as
to.
As soon as you said that, I was like, oh, you're going to roll up a poster of you and put it on your butthole?
So everybody has the same line of thinking. As soon as they revealed this idea, I went and sat down with my friends, and everybody was like, so this is just like going to the strip club. And I was like, obviously, and I'm already thinking of the bit where I like bring the bucket out and like pull my pants down.
You need a poster of yourself butt
gotta get
naked
some
in
printed.
front of your bucket.
Oh, black and white, pre-signed. Oh my God, my mind is reeling right now.
I got to get some printed before the 20th.
Like here, let me lay this out for you. And we have so many questions.
The
for
boudoir
Darrell.
calendar
Yes.
posters.
Dude, and then like they run it back and like, the Looney Bucket featuring the champion from Funny Fest, Okotoks, whatever the fuck they called it. and everyone's like, oh, you're going to love this guy. He's really funny. He's always goes last. He's got a great bit about Sydney Sweeney's tits. You're going to love him. He's an absolute hit. And then your whole 10 minutes is just a slow strip. Seriously, no jokes.
No jokes?
Like, don't make a single joke and just wear your man thong, roll up that poster or several posters. Oh, like Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs. It's your schween, it's your mangina, and you're just twerking it. We got to get loonies in there. Dude. So I write for Dex.
Yeah, I can tell.
Okay, enough about us. We're not doing the chili cook-off. I apologize. You guys cannot go down and taste our delicious chili, but if you do drop us an email, maybe you can come over here for a pot, play a little golf sim.
Yeah.
Speaking of writing, that's a perfect segue. Darrell, Good Enough Gaming Podcast. I understand that you are the writer, at least of the intros. Like, let's get into Good Enough Gaming Podcast. What's your role? Tell us about it.
Yeah, so I am our creative director / writer. So essentially, when you guys are talking about having no planning, we have to have some. I work with 3 other guys on the podcast, and if the 4 of us just sat around and did what you guys at the beginning, nothing would ever get done.
It doesn't.
Sounds familiar.
We rabbit trail all the time in ours. It's just natural. It happens. But essentially, I come up with the plan for our seasons. I write everything down, and as a man of puns, I do believe in doing a good job of writing an intro that either flusters our main host, Kyle, or excites the guests that we have on that I've done a little bit of research into the product and put some good jokes there, and just like in the preamble at the very beginning.
And you don't share it with them before.
Nope.
It's a doing it live thing.
It's a doing it live. It is, whatever I put on the prompter, Ron Burgundy has to read at the beginning. And so I try to get as many jabs in as possible.
Man.
It's very like Weekend Update when they write each other's jokes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, have you ever? Okay, that's a good question. I want to hear more about the podcast. Have you ever, gotten in trouble from a co-host for sneaking in stuff, or is it all? It's all light. It's pop culture, video game.
Yeah, so like you throw in some names of a character and make it a twist, put a pun on it, or change the title of the name of the game or the studio that we're interviewing. I've never gotten in trouble. I've definitely towed the line. I am the reason on our podcast that we have to edit in post. We are not live. I will say stupid shit all the time, so that has to get edited out. And so when we were doing events like GameCon Canada this year, which is our 3rd year going there and being a part of the whole production, I had to be very careful when we went live. It was that was a enlightening experience for me. It was going live like the whole day, all weekend.
You guys are live from GamesCon Canada, like you're doing a podcast.
We were streaming and podcasting and interviewing people and playing games live, like the whole time.
That's big. Okay, so where does the podcast start? How do you go from we're 4 dudes who like video games to now we're live streaming at GamesCon Canada? Because we want to know how to do that.
we're on a treadmill right now. We're kind of just running in
We
place.
kind of went from like 30 listeners to 60 listeners to 59 listeners. And we hover around the 100 now, but as we've already described, most of that is children in a factory that we're paying, and also just Dex and I streaming from different platforms because we like the sound of our own voices. So how did you get your start in podcasting? What's the group makeup? And then take us a bit through it. Like, it happened, I don't want to say quick. I know you guys put in a ton of hard work.
Yeah, so we just wrapped up taping. The episode hasn't come out yet, but as I'm talking to you guys, but we just wrapped up season 8. So we're 160 episodes deep into the Good Enough Gaming Podcast, which is pretty remarkable by itself. And it, like many other projects over the last few years, it started in COVID because we were bored and we had nothing going on. And all you could do with your buddies was play games online. You couldn't leave your house. So we're ripping some Diablo 3 and we were making like some pretty funny jokes. And we thought, well, shit, like we're hilarious. Objectively, maybe, who knows? But we were like, should we try and share this hilarity with other people? And so we were like, yeah, let's start a podcast. What does every other white guy and with spare time and a little bit of extra change do?
You have to have good genes to podcast. Absolutely.
So we just decided, let's hop in. So we all bought a mic. We all bought made sure our computers were updated and ready to go, and we just went for it. You don't really expect anything out of the gate. You have to kind of find your market, your niche, and there was gaming podcasts out there, but everything was pretty specialized to a particular game or genre or company, and we wanted to be a lot more open-ended. So we didn't want to just talk about games. We wanted to talk about the Marvel movies. We want to talk about production. We want to talk to like people involved with anime, and
You want to talk about what you want to talk
exactly.
about.
So we're not one-dimensional people either. We call ourselves when we go to GameCon, we always get called the most athletic nerds at the convention. Because everybody there, like, we're all over 6 feet tall. We're all former basketball players. Like, we don't really fit in to the demographic immediately until people come and talk to us. Oh, no, they're us. Like, they're also nerds. But
The old bait and switch.
Yeah.
We get a bit of that. Everyone identifies Dex as this high-level soccer player. Immediately,
I self-identify. I make sure people don't forget.
they look at me and they're like, "I bet he teaches phys ed." 9 question marks. And then they find out we're just fat idiots, and they're like, "No, that was our guess."
Yeah.
So that was okay. That was originally an angle. You guys were like, "We are going to be this."
we're going to be
kinda
jock nerds.
Yeah,
Like,
jock podcast a little bit.
so we're like, who knows? Like, people might respond to that. And what really like took off, it was weird. Like, everybody just consumed a bunch of content for those couple years, right? Like, you just couldn't really do anything else.
Yeah.
So we had a couple people listening to our stuff in Denmark and Australia and like Eastern Europe.
Oh yeah, it tells you where they're tuning in from.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on the Spotify analytics, and so we're like, okay, like maybe we're hitting some sort of demographic here that we like. Well, let's just keep going. Let's keep trying. And then we started reaching out to other people that we found were liking our content online. So we have a sponsor that works in Maine that makes retro gaming cubes.
Yes, I've been gifted one of these. Yes.
Yeah. And so now we are connected with him, and so then we're connecting with these other people that are involved in different aspects of gaming and nerdy culture stuff. And so, I mean, we've interviewed gaming CEOs. We've from companies like Shifty Eye Studios in Calgary. We've interviewed voice actors that do animated shows like that are huge in Japan. We're interviewing like game developers at the indie level, so like 1A, 2A level game development teams. We're talking to people that are into comic book art. I interviewed a guy from Chicago. We interview a girl that uses video games as help to work with her psychology patients in New York. And just the global expanse of like what gaming is and what it can do and all the people that are using it for different means has honestly been the most enlightening thing. And interviewing people has been sort of the highlight. Getting those interviews with people is the best part, because now we're getting exposed to just different facets and different ways of thinking in the gaming like genre and culture that just we didn't have before. We didn't have that context.
Did you do what we did? Like, we very much were like, okay, we're starting a podcast. We had the exact same thought. We're like, we're funny. Someone is gonna
Can
like
confirm.
this.
Can confirm.
Someone's gonna like this. But we bought like a couple snowball mics.
It was very like bare bones when I got going.
We didn't have this round table. We used to sit on either corner of the couch and have our mics attached to the coffee table there. And like we had, I don't know how many episodes we had where we'd finish and like we fucked up the entire audio.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
One of us was way too loud. There was like an episode kind of like Michael Jordan's flu game, obviously bit of a like smaller scale. I don't know what it was, but we just like in post we're like, are we breathing? Like, are we eating our microphones? This is not good. So like you obviously started out small and then you hit an inflection point. You're saying you notice people were tuning in.
Yeah. Once we actually started going out and actively seeking other people to get involved with us, that whether they were connected to somebody else we had interviewed or they even liked anything that that we've done, we're trying to make these connections. As soon as we started interviewing more people, that's really when things started to go up for us. So just being willing to make other connections with other people, even other podcasts, such as this moment right now. Like any little bit of growth is good growth. Like in you have to take it in waves. You get one new listener a month on average for the beginning. That's still good. Like you're still coming up. And then by season 4, we had finished in the top 10% of Spotify for the year in our genre market, which was crazy. But to your point, our first 2 seasons, when we get new people asking about us or we want to recommend like taking a listen to the episode, we just tell them skip the first 2 seasons because the audio quality is hot garbage. We don't know what the fuck we're doing still. There's a lot more rambling, the heavy nose breathing into the microphone where you haven't played with the settings enough. You don't know what's going on. And you just want to keep improving. You want to keep going forward and taking those little baby steps to just make your product sound better, look better, be better. So
you've got this guerrilla marketing approach and you're interviewing people. They're sharing it with their friends.
Yeah.
It's growing. Slow. You touched on something. Dex and I have had this argument, and I was in favor of removing our old stuff. And Dex is like, I don't know, it's content, it's up there. So you guys are organized into seasons. Is it like that's what's available? Is the season, and then it's gone, or
nope? So we've left everything on there. I think it's valuable for people to see the process that we went through to grow. And like some of the original stuff, there's some hilarious shit in the first couple seasons. Like, don't get me wrong, there's some funny stuff in there. So I don't want to lose that. But I really encourage people to like not start there, just so like we are capable of quality. Like this is not what the rest of everything you're about to listen to is like. And we're always continuing to adapt and grow. And I could give a Rad Dad exclusive piece of information here.
We're ready
to talk about the growth of the Good Enough Gaming
We're going
podcast.
to break some news
breaking
here.
news. Oh, 60 people are going to hear.
Dex, play that breaking news jingle.
I don't have one.
We'll add it in post. You're not busy. Your wife's in town. Your kids will sit still. Yeah.
Tonight, breaking news as we come on the air.
Here is a news bulletin from the CBC Television News Service.
I'm Wolf Blitzer, and you're in the Situation Room.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Breaking news.
This isn't going to be released until for our socials, but you guys get it first, so you get the exclusive.
Fuck yeah.
The Good Enough Gaming podcast is moving to a very similar situation as yourselves. We are now going to be filming in a studio in person together, no longer online like we've been doing for the past 8 seasons. Season 9, we are banding together. We are in the process of building our studio. It is almost done, and we are going to be filming all together in a shared space, which we are so excited for, and the ability to have guests in the Calgary and Edmonton area to come down and also be in our studio is like what we're looking to do. And that's also going to be humongous.
How spread out is
Congratulations. How
spread out is the crew? Like you're building this studio, you've done it online. Was that just out of convenience, or was that like, hey, we got people, it's a 45-minute drive to get to each other?
So that's kind of, I'm the outlier of our group. So
Okay.
I live the farthest out. For anybody that doesn't know where Strathmore is, it's about 35 minutes east of the city limits of Calgary. So I'm the one that's far away. I live an hour away from two of my co-hosts. And so we're using sort of a middle ground. One of the guys lives sort of on the in-between. So it's going to be a roughly 45 to 50-minute drive for me to get to that one. And then it should be like 15 to 20 minutes for the other guys to kind of get there. And that's where we're setting up. That's where we're going to be situated. And that's where we're going to be loading up. So that's big for us because we bought new equipment, new sound stuff. We've been acquiring things slowly. And that's what's new for Good Enough Gaming.
I think it's really fun to do it in person. I mean, I know when you and I get together, we often talk for like sometimes half an hour before we even.
Yeah, we podcast before we podcast.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
And it's fun. And we get some ideas, but sometimes it just like gets us in the flow of making jokes and talking to each other.
Hit the ground running.
Sometimes I wonder if some of that would be lost virtually. I don't know. We never did it virtually, but I think that's really exciting.
Are you guys,
and
you
having
guys
a
are
dedicated
filming
studio.
everything? Like it's you
Yes,
release them on YouTube
so
as well?
I think I can't remember exactly when we started, but since I think it's season 6, we started video as well. So we've been recording everything. So we're not only are we available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and everywhere else you get podcasts, we're also on YouTube. And YouTube has been one of the biggest areas of growth for us. So highly recommended. Even YouTube Shorts has the ability to grow a lot faster than Instagram Reels and things like that. It is very popular and expanding. So
I was quite
Into
literally researching this
seasons,
yesterday.
writing this all down.
I was researching this yesterday, like not even joking, not for the podcast, for my own comedy.
yes,
But I was like, then I was like, we should probably be doing this for the podcast. So that's validating to what I was reading yesterday. Because I was like, am I putting way too much effort? Is this Brother D's peach tea of podcasting?
This is Brother D's. You guys, you're much more organized though, and you got a team of 4, and it sounds like there's some fervor there. You know, like we love this project, and it had come up a while ago. I was like, how long are we doing this?
Yeah.
You know, like what's our angle? If anything, we're losing steam. And Dex is like, I don't see why we would not. Like, it's for us. We enjoy doing it. Everything's already fucking here. Mm-hmm. Just keep going. And I was like, that makes a ton of sense. But I think because of that, we've settled into this murky basement of podcasting where we're not doing videos, we're not doing shorts, we don't update our fucking Instagram, and we're just kind of like, bah.
New episode. All right. We'll see you again whenever we post a new episode.
When we get it together. So.
honestly, there's nothing wrong with that though. For us, we always try to build in time between the seasons. So it's not like the season is a year, and they don't ever start or end at the same time of year either. We are always trying to build in times and moments because you have to talk about something. You have to have your organized, sort of topics for the year, but you need time to play games. So like we build in time so that we're making sure that we're not just like talking about this product, or we're in a rush to get to play this game for a couple hours before it, we record on Wednesday and it comes out on Tuesday. So you better be like locked in Tuesday night and play. Like, no, we're going to give ourselves a few weeks. Let everybody get a chance to dive into it, and then we'll really get into the game, and we actually have something to talk about. And then breaks in between the seasons, like if you segment it that way, we make sure we take several months off so that we have a reset. We're not coming into it, we're not hitting that like, I'm tired of this, it's become a task, it's no longer fun. We always said this is our side gig. If it takes off and we make money and we hit it big with it, amazing. But we're just doing this because we want to chat with each other. We like the process. It's something fun. It's creative. And if ever it goes away from that, we need to walk away.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. I love that. When you guys are in season, then are you recording everything and then it all kind of comes out, like a week at a time? Like when you guys have this physical studio now, is it like, hey, I'm going to drive in, we're going to do one off, we have a guest. Do you make a day of it? Like, is it a couple things, as much as you can record? Who does the editing? Who's the guy?
So Trevor's our editor.
Okay.
And bless him. Like Dex, you will understand.
I was
this,
just going to say, our editor's a piece of shit.
I will refer back to a mailbag we got a few episodes ago where it was like producer Dex, editor Dex.
Yeah.
Okay.
You wear a lot of hats.
Good for you, buddy.
You got good genes.
Drew organizes the guests.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for coming, buddy. And
Drew can write his own name. That's good. That's good.
That's about it.
And it's almost legible.
I've been lacking in that department, but I got Big D here. Okay, we're
Yeah,
ripping.
that's right.
Yeah, we got a system.
So you get as much out as you can when you get together, or
So it depends. If we have a guest, we try, like currently as the system is when we're doing it online, if we have a guest, we try to just let that be the episode that we record that evening, because we, much like you guys were talking about, we have that preamble We have that sort of like 20 minutes with the guest before we even start, just to, get rid of the tension, like loosen up, just like understand who we are and what you're getting into. And then you get into the episode and then you finish, and then we take a little bit of time afterwards to be like, is there anything that, you might have said or that, you need us to edit out? Do you want us to give it anything? Are you okay with everything that happened in there? Did we miss anything? Do you want to put anything else in? And usually it's like, no, that was great. So we just kind of wrap it up. But, we just want to give them a chance. Because we do talk to people that work with TELUS and other companies too. So just want to make sure they're not pissing off any sponsors or anything.
Yeah.
Or set anything out of pocket. But, really, like, we try not to do too much in an evening, because then you'll burn out. You kind of get sick of the process. So we don't usually do more than 2 episodes in recording at once, and that's because most of our episodes are about an hour long, somewhere in there, 45 minutes to an hour and 20. So if we're talking for 3 straight hours on 3 different topics, sometimes you just, like, by the last episode, you're not really hitting the mark anymore.
You've had that before. I remember you telling me a story of recording an episode and then basically finding out afterwards that the audio was totally
it was
fucked.
fucked. It was gone. Yeah.
And then so you had to re-record it, but you had the same guest, you're asking the same questions, and you're like, this is kind of hell.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was awful. I felt so bad. We had a guest come on to talk about the new Pokemon games. I remember this very vividly. So we're talking about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. We had an awesome episode, and 2 of our audio files were just trash, like, when we were done. One of them was so broken and didn't work at all, and the other one was just like, it wasn't manageable. So we had to completely redo it. And the second episode was still good. We still asked some questions, but it didn't have that same flavor.
That magic. It almost felt like you were like running it back.
Yeah. And so it wasn't as enthusiastic, and then you're missing things, and you're missing those, like, really good, jab jokes, somebody's answering,
trying to make it work again.
Yeah. And it's just not the same. And, when you make all the Pokemon name puns the first time and then you try to run it back, it doesn't have the same effect. So that was one of those experiences. Like, we will fucking make sure we are good to go before we even start, because that's
a lesson learned.
That cannot happen again.
Yeah. Oh, you also said before about talking with your guest, making sure everything's in the clear. And OG listeners will remember this, but when we first started getting into guests, we were really into it. We're like, this is the direction of the podcast. We had a lot of the same thoughts. We're like, oh, it's going to be a very natural way for us to grow our listenership.
Yep.
They're going to bring on some people. They're going to be excited to have someone hear their voice. They might just share it with friends and family, but that's going to kind of take it out of our hands, and we're going to have lots to talk about. And we had some really great guests, some of our best episodes ever.
Yeah.
Our guest episodes. We had an amazing time with a personal trainer. Yeah. You were actually part of the combine.
That's right.
My dad came on and did like a murder podcast because he's a homicide investigator. That was crazy because there's stuff I'd never even heard. Really, really like amazing episode. And the climax, we had a guest from a local radio station, a station in the city. And we had this episode, and you ever just like, once you finish, you're kind of like, that was lightning.
Yeah.
That was a hit.
There's something here. I cannot wait to get this out. This is going to be huge. And, and same thing, we get to attach ourselves a little bit to that person who just dwarfs our followers. We're like, oh, this is good. And it was like, as early as
it was the next day.
Yeah, I was gonna say started that evening, but as early as the next day, we were getting blown up, being like, I need you to take this out. I'm actually not sure about this answer. I'm really concerned about this. Hey, I just talked to my station manager. Kill the episode.
Oh no.
And Dex was like,
I didn't have a personal relationship with this person, so I was like, fuck him, it's going up anyway.
Oh, dude, Dex, I've known him to get heated. He's
let it ride.
Yeah, he's got the ability to get there. Don't lose his golf clubs, but he is fairly mild mannered. When I had to like relay this information to him, be like, it's dead. The whole like just put it in a file or delete it. He was like, nope. like we're taking this person down. Like
I don't care about their career.
this episode is going live. Luckily, cooler heads prevailed, and we kind of, much like you guys must have, just like, well, lesson learned. And then I think after that, it just kind of became easier again to be like, let's just roll with us. And then, who do you get on?
It was maybe a little PTSD from that too, where it was like, man, like it was such a high and low where it was like, we had, like you said, lightning in a bottle. We had this great episode, and then you're riding such a high, and then to have it just like taken away so fast, it was like, oh, well, I never want to fucking do this again. You might be the first guest we've had on since that.
We had Pylon on.
Oh,
we
that's
had
right.
another
That's
comedian,
right.
and that was another learning experience too. Because, and sorry not to cut you off, Darrell, but it's just it was one of those things where we got the better of ourselves, because we do so much off the cuff. It's just our brand, and Dex and I, we feed off each other. We rarely have to have a plan. Quality be damned. We're going to make an episode, and it always happens. In fact, I don't remember the last time we sat on here and we're like, what
do we talk about?
Yeah, we always get to the point where like we got to stop talking. Like we've said enough.
And I need to say this, and the reason that you have traction and the reason that you have like a following and a growing podcast still, any growth is good growth, but it's because you guys have really good candor with each other. Like it
Stop.
No,
keep going.
I'm blushing.
I'm gonna say it. You guys do a really good job. You want a podcast to feel like you're in the room with the people, just having a conversation. And as somebody that's Drew has supported me, and I have supported him, and so I listen to your podcast too. And I just want you guys do a really great job. It's really easy to get into it, and there's no lulls and there's no spots where you're just like trying to figure out if you can carry this conversation. You guys don't break. And that's what is really nice, and that you do a really good job of that. So
Darrell is the best guest we've ever had. I love this guy. Go listen to Good Enough Gaming Podcast right fucking now. But we didn't prepare. We didn't prepare well enough, and unfortunately, at that time, and I'm not going to say anything about the guest. He was great, but he needed us to be more organized. Like we had our style, and we just assumed that like by osmosis it would translate, and it was very much like no, we should have had a list of questions. We should have kind of done this, because that was an episode where by the end, I wouldn't say it came off the rails, but there was a few things where like, oh fuck, like how do we get here?
There was like a pause.
Yeah. And we kind of lost ourselves in it, and we're like, okay, I think that was the last guess prior to this, and we kind of leaned back into just, hey, you know what? It's just us in the fucking basement.
Just a little reset.
I feel like we've talked podcasting a lot, which is very meta, but we do want to talk gaming too.
I want to get there. I got one last question on this.
Okay, sorry.
I'm sorry. I just want to like, what is there any other lessons learned? Do you have any advice for us? I mean, I've taken notes. I like everything you're doing. Me likey, YouTube shorts. Okay, couple sit-ups. Yeah, we are definitely gonna take that to the bank. But have you learned any other hard lessons, or are you just finally in a place now where it's like, no, this is what we're doing, and we feel great about it?
I think the big thing for us was just don't sell yourself short. I always say, like, there's the fake it till you make it kind of thing, but honestly, opportunities are there. You just have to go and get them. And if we never just like asked for media passes on the first GameCon Canada that was in Calgary, like if we didn't just say, hey, we're a local podcast, we're looking for some media passes, can we get in? And originally they only offered us 3 out of 4.
You're like figuring out
because we're rotating. You fuck one of us every day. Yeah. But like, we were just like, okay, maybe we buy a weekend pass and then we'll just split the cost or whatever. We were trying to figure it out, and then we were like, you know what? Let's try again. And we sent another email and we said, hey, in fact, would somebody be willing to come onto our podcast and talk about this event before it happens? And then we ended up with the CEOs.
Right.
And so we interviewed Chris and Mark from their marketing company that run the whole event. And immediately upon meeting us, they're like, oh shit, like you guys are legit. You're our kind of people. What, like we sent you 3? Fuck that. Here's the other pass. come talk to us, come talk to these people. Like, what do you guys want to do? And we street teamed it, which was also a learning experience. I don't know if I could ever do that again, but just interviewing cosplay artists and again, developers, people that are for board games, like BattleTech and things like that. We're just interviewing the heads of whoever. Nobody has any idea who the fuck we are or anything, but you show up with a microphone and somebody's got
They take you seriously.
a gimbal stick there, and you're just like, oh, okay, like these guys look semi-professional. Who cares? I'll talk to them, and then you tag them. You get a couple more followers. You get a couple more followers. You just it's osmosis after that. Everything is just easy, and if you're willing to take that step forward and you're willing to put yourself out there and just try to get a little bit of traction, you'll get it. But you have to work. But you have to try. You have to actually do it.
I was hoping the answer wasn't "Don't be a lazy piece of shit."
Effort.
We've tried nothing and we're all out of ideas. All right, it's just the two of us moving forward. All right, we can move on to games. Thanks, buddy.
Well, I mean, this is I guess this is kind of a segue, but you've got 4 guys on the podcast. I mean, obviously, video games is a huge industry. I mean, it's one of the, if not the biggest entertainment industry in the world.
Billions of dollars infused into gaming now.
I mean, you talked about Pokemon earlier. That's the biggest media franchise in the world.
Yep.
Yeah. Bigger than Star Wars.
What?
Yeah. Anyway, so you got 4 guys. I mean, gaming is hugely broad, which it sounds like that was maybe a beneficial thing for you guys to kind of, we're not leaning into one specific game or one specific genre. Do the guys,
we don't even all play the...
Yeah, that was.
We don't even all play the same games.
Yeah, so you got different tastes. Like you got one guy who's in FPS. You got one guy who's in
So those guys, like the other 3 guys, all played Call of Duty and Battlefield and things like that to get Modern Warfare. They all play that stuff together. I am fucking garbage at first-person shooter games. Like I'm trash. So I either hop in on the mic on somebody else's controller and just shit talk whoever they're playing against. Or I just watch, or I'll play fucking Hello Kitty Adventures off in the corner while the rest of them are, playing Call of Duty. So I play racing games, I play fighting games, and Jordan also plays fighting games and loves JRPGs. But Kyle can't, deal with dialogue in a game, so he can't play a JRPG. He can only play roguelikes, and he's a dad, so you only get 30 minutes to play. It's got to be worth your while. So you're looking for games that hit and scratch that itch, and so we play a plethora of stuff, and that's the best part is we hit all kinds of marks. So when we talk about a game or we're interviewing somebody, if I'm super into RPGs and I will play this game, we met with the guys from Aegis Force at GameCon this year at Edmonton. It's like Fire Emblem mixed with Breath of Fire. It's a total game up my alley. And Jordan, I think, will play it too. But who knows if the other guys will even dabble, right? But so when we interview these people, it makes sense for me to be there.
You guys got to take the lead. You have thoughtful questions.
We have, it's pertinent. We can make some comparisons to other games that are similar, so you can ask the right types of questions for the gameplay style. And that's the beauty is we're all capable of fitting into that mold for any type of game out there. And bless Jordan, because he plays everything. Like he has a segment on our show called The Treasure Trove, and it's like him talking about games that you might not have ever seen or tried, or you look at it on the PlayStation or Microsoft store and you're like, I don't know, or it's on sale for $1.50 on Steam, and you go, it must be trash. But he'll play it and he'll be like, you need to play this game because this is an amazing game. Just give it a try. And we have guys that Trevor talks about soundtracks and stuff. So he's playing all the different games like Bridge of Cana and Astro World and stuff like that. So
Travis Scott's Astro World.
Yeah, that's
Tragedy
right. Yeah,
on Steam.
Stampede Simulator.
They were gonna take it. They were gonna take it down. The old Stampede Simulator.
Fire Festival 2.0. But
hell yeah,
we got it all hit, and that's the beauty is at least we're hitting these different demographics of games, and we can. So if we're interviewing anybody, somebody is going to be able to draw in some experience, whether they played it or played something similar, to kind of bridge that gap.
When you guys got into gaming, I mean, obviously y'all love gaming, but for yourself, like, is there a moment where, you know, maybe we're rewinding many years before the podcast even started? Is there a moment where you're like, I fucking love gaming? Like, is there a game that's just like made you fall in love with gaming?
So Drew and I have a shared experience for a certain franchise, and honestly, it's, to me, is what really kicked off my love of gaming. My first console was a Super Nintendo, and at the time, my sister worked at Blockbuster, so we got lots of free rentals and stuff for those ages, like later into the gen of Super Nintendo. But I always rented Mortal Kombat 1 and 2, like over and over and over again. It didn't matter, right? I didn't own them until much later in life, which is hilarious. But I played those games, and I was always in shock, and I was addicted to playing as Sub-Zero and Scorpion and doing fatalities and learning different things. And Drew and I have played a lot of Mortal Kombat together. So.
Did you have the notebook with all the fatality?
Hell
combos?
yeah. You know,
me
when
too.
you got the game book that came in the case that actually had spaces in the back to write notes, like a lot of them came with blank areas for you to write stuff down. That just doesn't happen anymore.
I mean, now you don't even buy physical media.
No, and it's all freemium gaming, and you just download the character and the skin you want. So Darrell and I actually went to school together at Mount Royal, and we were in a few classes. We were acquaintances, you know, we got along, and then it turned out that he was also going to Lethbridge, going to do phys ed, be a teacher. I was like, well, I'm thinking about going down there and becoming a janitor. Like, this is perfect. You know, we could still hang out. And when we lived in Lethe in our double wide trailer, I still had a Super Nintendo. And so I was playing MK1, MK2, MK3, and like Brad and I, Zilla and I used to play all the time. But, you know, you'd win a fight, which I didn't win very often, and to get to like the fatality screen, the finish him screen, and like my move, I would just press block repeatedly until the guy falls over, you know? And Darrell came over the one day and who just like knew everything, knew all the buttons. And I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, you can rip his spine.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
he's doing it all, and he's good. And I think it was, or where it really took off is Darrell and I coached volleyball together. And you had to go to all these tournaments, these away tournaments. And you had to, especially this time, you know, being in our 20s, you had to be on your best behavior. You know, like it was like a child's volleyball team that we were like, and a competitive team at that. And so like there wasn't a lot of opportunity to, you know, okay, kids are asleep. Let's hit the casino. You know, so what we started doing is bringing consoles along with us on these tournaments. And we would play through all sorts of games, you know, like we started with, I think, Super Mario World and got to the special stages, but then we kind of found ourselves coming back to Mortal Kombat, and Darrell's like, you got to come over and we're going to do something special. And so I go to his house in Lethbridge, and he had pulled out his old PlayStation 3, and he had, I want to say 9.
It is 9. It's 9. Yep.
And it's the first, or it was the first in the series that they retconned a bunch of stuff. You know, they get to the end of 8, everyone's fucking dead. And then something happens through the power of an amulet, and the whole storyline gets reset. And that is kind of like the birth of playing every single game that's come out since, all the story modes, all the DLC. In fact, once that season of volleyball ended, much like the loonies getting tossed at your beehole in Hubtown, they gave us some change. They're like, "Hey, you guys did a good job.
We got a per diem for our work."
Yeah, so they gave some cash, and
Okay.
Darrell was like we were like in the parking lot of UFC, and he's like, PS4, and went and bought a PS4, got Mortal Kombat 10, and like we were like just giddy schoolgirls, man. We sat down and
We were
played the
just
whole
degenerates for like.
Oh yeah, and so it's still a thing. We just recently got through the DLC on, I guess now it's Mortal Kombat 1 again,
Which is technically 12, but it's 1.
Yeah. Okay. So I've lived a bit of that with you. Yeah, I was ignoring all my classes playing Mortal Kombat Trilogy on the emulator.
I actually gave you the physical disc because I had the computer disc for Mortal Kombat Trilogy.
Was that what it was?
Yes.
Oh, it was on the old. Yeah, fuck. Yeah.
Physical media.
So that's the game. That's the love of games.
That's what really kind of sparked everything for me. I was really into Super Mario, obviously. Like that was the game that came with our Super Nintendo and kind of got it going. But my sister like, man, my sister was the best human. She bought me PlayStation 1 for Christmas the one year.
Nice.
And you get that, this is also a lost thing. Like we talk about this a little bit on our podcast, but do you guys remember demo discs? Like the jam pack?
Oh yeah.
Where you could play 8 to 10 demos of games and then be like, oh, well, this game's hot garbage. I'm not buying that. But then you're like, what is this medieval game? And you play a little bit of it, you're like, oh man, this is like Spyro, but darker and weirder. I could get into this. And there was Legend of Dragoon was on my jam pack disc, which Sony Entertainment had infused a shitload of money into because they were trying to make another Final Fantasy VII. Like they were trying to have that same magic. And so they had come up with this idea. And that game I can remember playing religiously. And I still have a far too great of a fondness for that game. There's an online petition for a sequel. There was never anything after it, but I'm still waiting for it. And the closest thing I ever got was Expedition 33, which was a fucking masterpiece. If you haven't played that yet, you need to play that. But that was the one where I was like, I can't put my controller down. Like, yeah, I'm so invested. All day. I'm like, I got to level up. I got to get to the next area. I have to figure out how to beat this boss and get through this. There's slight puzzles. The artistry was sick. The animations. Now we're in the gen where you have 3D animation, like cutscenes, and your fucking mind is blown for a second there. And that to me is like the pinnacle. Final Fantasy VII and Legend of Dragoon were like the ones that I'm like, I love this. This is better than a book. This is my story. Like, this is what I want to do. I love playing this.
I remember those discs, and you'd get like the first level of Crash Bandicoot, yeah. It's always floating around. Final Fantasy VII, you got me into Final Fantasy, but the depth, the amount of time that you were playing those games.
Oh, it's absurd.
Like every single character, every single secret item, every single secret boss, like hours and hours. No one plays a game more thoroughly than you do.
So, on the podcast, I'm known as the platinum player. So
you got to get all the trophies.
I got to get it all. Like if I'm really into the game, if I like it, and I'm like, I'm not stopping until I have everything. Like I'm into it. So I have platinum some games that have super low, platinum percentages. I was one of the first 100 people to platinum Injustice 2, which is, NetherRealm's DC comic and Mortal Kombat hybrid game. And that was a feat because that had some like terrible things you had to do online and win fights.
You would like set your roster of fighters and simulate them.
Yep.
I'd be over your house, you'd be doing like meal prep and the TV's just on and you're like sim fighting.
Yep.
As well.
Just collecting materials so that I could go in and like get better stuff, and then next time I fight online, I'm geared, like I'm ready to go.
So that is when I think of nostalgic gaming, and I think of like I'll say problems with current games. Maybe not actual problems, but as an older guy now, the era that I miss, the era that was so special to me is when you bought a physical game, and you were rewarded by playing it so much that you got something amazing.
Yeah.
And like that's something that I don't think really exists. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, perhaps my favorite game of all time, but you had to beat the career mode 100% and max stat with every single player, including the unlockable players, before you could get Spider-Man, Officer Dick, Private Carrera. And it was a reward. You went over and you plugged in that game, and someone's like, "Oh shit,
you got
Spider-Man?"
Yeah, and you're like, "Dude, I fucking have skipped a ton of school." And I still I don't know if that's the game that I first fell in love with. I was a Sega Genesis kid.
Yep.
More specifically, my brother had one, and my parents would buy me games for his. Which he fucking hated. I had like that cliche older brother, like, don't come in my room, don't play my games. He'd go and play street hockey. And
Joe.
I had a copy of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and I'd be like, oh shit. But yeah, the PlayStation 1, both Dex and I had modded PlayStations.
Yeah.
When we were
Oh,
growing
sick.
up.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was when you get the big tower desktop that had 2 disc drives.
Yep.
So you could rent a game,
Burn
burn it
it.
onto a fucking CDR, and then you just had every game.
Did you have the Game Shark on there too? Did you?
I don't remember a Game Shark in a time.
I know I had a Game Shark for my N64.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just remember just CD wallets of every game and just
I remember for PS1 I had quite literally hundreds of games. Like I had a huge, it was like a 6x2 binder
That's
with
amazing.
CDRs, and it was just full every game.
Duke Nukem, Land of the Babes.
Yeah. The
Classic.
the
Belongs in a
the
museum.
Spider-Man on PS1 was
Yeah.
like way ahead of its time.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
Okay,
You're talking about the one where you're running from Carnage Octopus at
Yeah.
the end.
Yeah.
That game is goated.
okay, dudes, I'm gonna blow your dicks right off. That's an Activision title built on the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater engine.
Yep.
Oh.
Well, graphically, that makes
I
a
can
ton of
see
sense.
it now that you say. I didn't know that, but
Yeah, and those were 2 of the best games. They had it. They had such.
That's
a
when
run.
Activision actually gave a shit about what they were doing.
And PlayStation, I always remember one thing it had over the Nintendo 64 because I was a Nintendo kid, even though I started with
me
Sega.
too. I'm still a Nintendo
And
kid.
you know,
but-
yeah, they got you by the nuts with their titles.
Yeah.
But the cutscenes, and I think it was Spider-Man 2, Age of Electro. No, what was it? It has something to do with Electro. He was like the big bad guy in Spider-Man 2, and but you would finish a level and it would go from like this janky fucking game to like the most, at least at that time, beautiful CGI
You're like
cutscene.
graphics
Yeah,
could
right?
never get better than this.
This is the best thing I've ever seen in my
Pinnacle.
life. Yeah, and that was always such a fucking treat. But yeah, even in that game, Spider-Man 2, you would unlock crazy skins, and it had Stan Lee do the voiceover, and it was all the
man.
skins. You could go into the menu side of things, and each skin was attached to a very specific comic book volume, and it would have the actual picture of the comic book, like where that skin is from. Yeah, that era of gaming, like when the fucking Battlefront shit started happening, and like you just can't unlock stuff. You have to buy stuff. You have to pay for stuff. Microtransactions. It's just, to me, it's such a diminished experience.
Yeah, and I think the industry's kind of moving back from that. But if I can shout out one classic game,
Oh yeah, we're classic
please.
gaming. We're
It's-
nostalgia trip.
and it's so funny that like the things you remember from being a kid and gaming and getting into gaming, and it's like, especially back then, like I think when I got it, my first console was an NES,
okay.
right? So
Lucky.
there was no, well, there was at the time, but it was very limited. There was no hopping on Reddit and
No.
like joining a very specific subreddit for the game that you like, or joining a forum or something like that. There was that to a very small extent. So you liked what you liked, and there was like very little peer pressure or like online pressure to play a certain game, or like, so anyway, that's a very roundabout way to say one game that I loved that is so stupid is Avoid the Noid, which was an NES game made by Domino's Pizza using their mascot, the Noid, who would steal pizzas. Yeah, it was like a tie-in. It was like a marketing tie-in for Domino's, and they made a fucking NES game, and it's the most ridiculous. And you're just like trying to like, you play and you're trying to like run away from this guy and make sure he doesn't steal your pizzas. And
That's
it's so
amazing.
stupid, but I played the shit out of that game.
Yeah.
And now we have the KF console. Like all these companies,
Yeah.
just in their weird marketing.
Domino's was way ahead of their time.
So ahead.
That's a good point. You would, if you rented a game or you played a game, there wasn't this influence. You're never being steered in a direction. And so there's all these games you would have played like on on NES, because I got one later, like way later. 2000. But I had Super Mario Bros. 3, absolute hit game. But I had a bunch of Simpsons titles.
Yeah.
And they're unplayable. Honestly,
There's a lot of games on the original Nintendo that are bad.
But I just, and I could only ever get through like the first couple levels until Bart has to fucking skateboard the Great Wall of China, and then I would just die. It was Bart versus the Space Invaders or something like that. And you would never just do that now, kind of like your treasure trove segment, like just play these random games. Now it's like I look for, if they ever come up with another Red Dead Redemption. Like
Yeah.
I'll quit.
Obviously,
I'll quit my job.
Yeah, obviously.
You know, like I'm done. I'm done with kids. I'm done with a wife. It's over for me. You know, but like that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm waiting for. There's not this era. Fuck, you got me just absolutely nostalgia tripping. My game on Nintendo 64 was Rayman 2, The Great Escape. And it was a Ubisoft game, however you fucking say that. And like, why would you play that? You know, it just stuck out to me at the rental counter.
Yeah.
And I got into it, and it was one of those things like, hey, I'm going back to video headquarters, which is hilarious now because it's my favorite liquor store. So that's
It really kind of evolved with
wow.
you.
The store
you know?
has been a part of my life.
They're like, listen, Drew's getting a little older.
Yeah,
He's starting to spend more of his
once
budget.
they stopped renting games, they're like, all right, close up shop. We need to get them back.
Drew's too old now.
That really happened. But I would just rent it over and over and over. You know.
Yeah.
And even shitty games, Cruising USA, Rush 2032 or whatever the fuck. that
Better
game was.
arcade games, but like still video games that like
Yeah.
you could play, but they weren't phenomenal by any means.
No, man. And now it's hard. I do find myself the parent side of things. Like I don't have the time to get down and explore. And so I've fallen in the trope of playing the same games over and over and over. If I get 20 minutes, if I get 30 minutes, I'm
just
either
hopping on and I'm playing this.
Yeah, A or B, I'm playing the same game that I was playing in fucking high school, which is Halo. Or if there's a game I'm really keen on, I'll watch a video of someone playing it, which my wife will be like, "What's wrong with you?"
And that's the weird evolution of gaming. And you know, we work with kids, and so all the time I'm always baffled how many people watch people play games on Twitch or watch YouTube videos of playing. I never hit that. Like I never got in. I was like, I'll just figure it out myself. Like I want to play it. I don't want to watch it. So I've always been blown away by that. Where it's like people will watch me play this. Like what?
And like the biggest streamers in the world, like are video game streamers.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And these kids love it. And sometimes I watch these people, and I'm kind of the same as you. I'm like, I don't know where the entertainment appeal comes from. It just makes me want to play the game.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I just want to turn this shit off and go fire up my Xbox or my PC or whatever.
I find the like if you watch Awesome Games Done Quick or Summer Games Done Quick, like those big charity events where they bring in speedrunners.
Speed runs, yeah.
You know, you get a new life in some of these games that like you've already thoroughly enjoyed them. Like I've played Ocarina of Time so many times, even as an adult, gone back and played it. But to watch someone just dismantle it, like
they found all the bugs
to its code and do the game in 17 minutes, or I think it's even lower than that now. Like I get a lot of enjoyment out of that. Or watching guys play games. There's another guy that I follow that he all those games kind of like, you know, Bart versus the Alien Invaders, Space Invaders, these impossible to beat games. That's his channel. Is he like pulls these games? He probably plays the fucking Noid, you know. He plays Echo the Dolphin. All these games that are just like horribly
The Lion King.
Yeah, disgustingly challenging, and he beats him. But it takes him hours, and obviously he's all chopped up. You don't have to watch the whole thing. But that to me, that's gaming right now. It's like I'll watch that video, and then my kid's gonna get up, or I have to get up and go to work, or something stupid like that.
I feel like we've kind of touched on this a little bit, like we've sort of like scratched the surface of this topic, but do you think that gaming is in like a weird moment right now where it is leaning heavily towards that microtransaction? Like we were talking about as a kid, you used to go rent or buy the game and you had the fucking game.
I think we've talked about this on our podcast before, and so there's different levels to this. It's a pretty broad like conversational topic in the sense that you have a shift from physical to digital media, but now you have the fight back for the physical media component because you have these games that are getting canceled or taken off the store, or the servers are getting shut down. So you now have like a new sort of need, depending on the game, to get it physical so that you can have it. Mm-hmm. But even then, like a lot of them are just product keys, right? Like you don't really own the game ever anymore.
Which Nintendo's leaning into, and that's a problem.
Hard, yeah, and the microtransaction, the fight back from that is in effect. You have every game of the year for the last 3 years have been very anti microtransaction, and so the consumer, the market, and everybody voting on like what's important
Voting with their money.
are saying, you know, the microtransaction game, I think, is luckily on our front. I think it's dying.
Yeah.
I think that market has sort of dried up a little bit, and it's become so overwhelming in so many games that now people are just refusing to. And unless you're a streamer or somebody that makes money off of creating NBA 2K accounts where you max load a character to their, you know, upper capabilities, and then you try and sell your account or whatever. Like, if you're not infusing like a whole bunch of money to get a whole bunch of money back out of it, then you're not really spending it. Fortnite got all in that legal trouble for all these kids making all these microtransactions. They had to, like, you know, give all that money back and stuff, and so there's a drawback there. And unfortunately, really, it's just certain companies that's the board meeting. Your shareholders want some way of making sure that there's just passive income coming, even though this game has existed for 10 years. Your Activision Blizzards are going to release $40 skins on Diablo, and, you know, stupid pets and stuff like that on World of Warcraft that you have to pay money for. You can't unlock it by a natural means. And you have 2K with, you know, the wrestling and NBA and stuff like that, where you're buying VC dollars and you're upgrading your character instead of just grinding it out. And I think some games are going to be like that for a long time, but the shift, I think, is changing. For me, I love giving kudos to Larian Studios, who did Baldur's Gate 3. They made a completely fleshed game. Every patch, every port of the DLC, anything that was created that, you know, online at least in the PC universe, that other creators have made, can just get loaded. Nothing costs anything. And that they were so successful. The game broke the fucking internet, like when it came out, and justly so. It's a complete packaged game. You paid for it, you got it, it's yours. Anything that comes thereafter is also yours, like, to play around with, to make happen. And, you know, you have games like Elden Ring that broke the internet, same thing. It's a complete game. Like, it was, and it's good.
Well, and that's the world needs this vigilante approach to making quality games, because I think when you're saying that this market of video games, the economics of video games in the boardroom, you know, how long can we make this game profitable? How many skins can we sell? And, you know, I think I've told this story before of kids having birthday parties at school, and they just ask for the like preloaded cards.
Yeah, like V-Bucks. Give me the V-Bucks.
And what ends up happening, the byproduct of that, is there's almost like a brain drain on the creative side, the development side of games, and people who are otherwise going to have to be like inventive and work hard. You know, being creative costs a lot of money. It's expensive to develop these games from the ground up, and they're not getting funding. These studios are getting shut down. They're getting absorbed so they can go and work on this soulless, fucking faceless corporation style game because it's generating money, and the whole thing becomes a little bit diminished. So it's good to know that there's actual titles coming out that are like for the people. Yeah. And just actually bringing it back to.
There's more studios doing that, and anybody that's heavily into gaming, I would, depending on the title, that, you know, if you're only playing COD with the boys, then you're gonna buy the next Call of Duty. Like, it is what it is. But if you're into gaming and you love certain genres of games, as somebody that now has spoken to a lot of indie developers and met a lot of these development companies, supporting those 1A and 2A games, like those indie developer games from the ground up and getting into it, those are the people that are not going to take money out of your wallet other than what you paid for with the game. And you're going to get those experiences and those moments that we had when we were kids on that, like, hidden gem, the Noid. Like, you're getting those moments, you're getting that game. It's made with passion, it's made with love, and because it's made that way and it's not coming from a place of greed, it always plays better. But we get so hooked on the game that's, you know, as they call it, the quadruple A now. You're hooked on just a titled franchise. Just because the next Assassin's Creed coming out doesn't mean it's a great game. You know, just because the next Modern Warfare is like ready to launch doesn't mean it's going to be awesome. Like it's going to be riddled with fucking problems because those guys are just releasing broken, incomplete packages that are supposed to just bleed your wallet immediately, and we'll fix it as we go.
Yeah.
That's like, you know, it made me think of sports games. There was a time in my life where every single NHL game that came out, like, we got it day of.
Yeah, and it had some new feature or whatever.
Yeah, new style of gameplay. You know, something's changed. And then you'd almost get these games. It happened a lot with the NBA Live series, where like the next year's game was either the same game or just like you're saying, carelessly made. Like no one gave a shit.
It's basically roster updates.
Yeah, and it was very much like, yeah, fuck you, you'll buy it. It's the new one.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was. I think it was NHL 22. I got it, but I had bought it on sale. You know, like I bought it way after the fact. It came up on Xbox, and I was like, oh yeah, I love these games. Lots of the features were supposed to only run during that year of the game. So there was a ton of game modes that they're like, no, this event's done. Just go play 3-on-3. And
You can't be a GM now because there's 23 out now.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh, this is insane. This is fucking wild.
I'll say
ruined it
it's
for
like
me.
it feels like over the last, let's call it, man, I feel like I'm getting old now, but like 10 years.
We are.
Last 10 years, it feels like gaming went through this very weird like growth period where it was. I loved Overwatch when that first came out.
Yep.
Loved it. But then they got in trouble for basically like getting kids addicted to gambling. And I mean, I was already there. I was already addicted to gambling anyway. But they were doing the loot boxes and all that shit, which is now banned in Europe. And a lot of games have pulled that out of their games because, you know, you have to basically sell a different version in Europe versus North America. But there was this weird, and then Fortnite came out, and I had no problem with them doing microtransactions because the game was free.
Yep.
Right. And I was like, well, it's a free game and I can still play the same game. If I want the skins, I can get the skins or buy the battle pass. I didn't really care about that. Where I get frustrated, I'm a huge Call of Duty fan. Went to the Canadian Call of Duty Championships.
There it is.
Nice.
Yeah. There it is.
Yeah, I had to drop that. I'm an elite Call of Duty player. But I've bought recent versions, and I just like I can't do it anymore. I've started skipping releases because it's like, okay, I'm paying $89.99 for this game.
Yeah.
And then they want me to spend another $20 for a skin to look like Roger the fucking alien. And I'm like, I don't necessarily care about that, and I don't feel super obligated to buy it, but it feels like they've just like shoved a funnel into my wallet, and they're like, fuck you. You just spent $90. We want another $20 so that you can look like a cartoon character from a TV show. Oh, and then we're going to release another one that's going to, all the streamers are going to have this. And to me, as an adult, I'm like, I can recognize that and be like, I'm not going to fall for this trap.
Yep.
But I think about kids, and you know, my oldest is kind of, she's not a gamer, but she's starting to get into that, and a lot of her friends are into that. I'm like, man, this is so exploitive.
Yeah.
You know, these kids
100%.
that have, you know, no sense of money, right? Like they don't make their own money and shit. So they're like, hey, I want another $20 for this. And I'm like, back in my day, you
had to unlock that.
You go
shit.
spend $40, you had the game, and you had to unlock your shit.
Go work for 20 hours in that game and then come back to me.
Yeah, it just feels like you're almost being disrespected in some senses, and it has. I think it's honestly gotten a little better in the last couple of years. Like you named a couple titles there.
Yeah, Baldur's Gate. I heard you could design your character's vulva. That one's on my list.
I mean, you gotta have the right style.
You gotta have the right jeans.
Yeah.
Oh,
hey, call back.
Throwback. Okay. Exploiting kids, bad. You know, like, are they still advancing these games? And that's what we're saying they're not doing, right? Like these Call of Duties. Another thing
they're just reskinning the same shit. It's the same game.
It's
same.
soulless.
Yeah.
And you can't play unless you like. I don't know if it's to push hardware sales, like to actually make sure everyone has a console in their house. But whatever happened to fucking going to your dude's house and playing a game with them? It's impossible to do.
Yep. So that's another facet that's really interesting in how some games are being made. So you have, just last year we had Split Fiction, which is exclusively co-op. You can't play it by yourself. You have to play with another person. That's like the whole build of the game. It can be couch co-op, it could be online. And when you buy a copy, like I'm going to buy Split Fiction and I want to play with Drew doesn't have to buy it. I have it. And so when I invite him to play, he can play it. And those are the companies I'm like, thank you. because that's the only thing that's even close to like just grab your N64 controller, go over, we're playing Mario Party.
Yeah.
Like, and we're going to play all four of us. Like, we're going to get together. That just doesn't work anymore because they don't want to split screen. They don't want to they want to make sure everybody buys a copy. You have to have your own system. There's all these things in place now that just make that really hard. So it's nice to see a little bit of resurgency with that for certain games to have that co-op feature, local co-op feature built back in.
It seems so like again, that's my age coming out where I'm like, that should be the inherent feature. That should, I bought the new Battletoads that came out, and that was, we're going to be two guys running around, eating bugs, okay, smacking baddies. It's like, no, it doesn't work that way. It's not a two-player game unless you're online. And what I see at school, I still do a Smash Bros Club, and that game, sandbox fighter, you can be really good, but you can also be really bad and have success, with items, or if you got enough people playing. So levels the playing field for a lot of these kids, or it just lets Hoover run train on a bunch of really bad Smash players. But you watch these kids interacting with each other, and it's like they don't know how. Like they haven't had enough time of like sitting with a buddy where they can like talk about the game and be involved in it. They're used to sitting on their headphones and like just saying the world's most awful and heinous things.
Shit.
You almost have to like train them to like have a human interaction. Kid loses. I don't know how many times I've had controllers thrown, like huge fits, and I'm like, that's what this is.
Like sometimes you lose.
That these are games you lose, and then you play another one, and the whole game is 5 minutes. That's the beauty of it, right? And they, you get them on board, and it's like they don't have this. They're at their house by themselves. So, I mean,
getting groomed by pedophiles on Roblox.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's actually like
that's the dark side of gaming.
That's a topical thing right now. Roblox like blowing up.
Yeah, Sydney Sweeney's on there.
Yeah, well, then maybe the kids would be.
Okay, you're gonna have to Shays lounge me. What's going on with Roblox?
Oh, you didn't hear? Okay, so
yeah.
Oh man,
the Roblox is. I mean, this has been kind of like a thing that's been percolating.
I'm not even sure what Roblox is.
It's broke ass Minecraft.
Yeah, it's a freemium game.
Okay,
and people design their own games within the game, right? So you can go play fan made games or whatever. You make your character. It's like cheap Minecraft basically. But what's been happening, because it is free and it's, I mean, all the kids are playing it. I've banned it in my house, but all my daughter's friends are playing it and stuff. There's quite literally like sexual predators going on there and grooming kids. And Roblox is doing nothing to stop this. And they just had a big streamer.
Yeah.
Like just this past week, he was going on, he was trying to like identify these people, and he was doxing some of these people. And Roblox, instead of being like, wow, we have a problem on our platform, they banned him.
They banned him.
They banned him.
They're like, you're doxing
catching
people.
Predators.
And then he created another account and showed immediately he's getting messages from like strange older men like, hey, you want to come hang out? You want to chat on Discord or whatever? And again, they banned his new account immediately. So it's like it's this huge thing where they've put the almighty dollar above the safety of the kids using their platform.
That is truly terrifying.
Yeah.
That's not good.
It's run by Epstein Studios, but
pretty much.
Whoa.
I mean, it's one of those things where you're like, whoa, like you have a problem. You have a very clear problem on your game, and somebody has pointed this out. And there's got to be a way. Like you've got this server. You are facilitating the messages between pedophiles and children.
Yeah.
You can probably identify these people pretty fucking fast. But they're like, no, we can't be showing investors lower player rates. We can't be showing lower time spent on the game. It's crazy.
Because those are the metrics that are important to the people that are invested into their game.
Man, back in our day, it was like, oh, if you get the Super Nintendo version, the blood is green.
Yeah.
Concerned parents, children, advertise, whatever the fuck that is.
And now that's all gone out the window. I remember my mom. Well, you were there.
Yeah.
When we were playing Duke Nukem Land of the Babes.
That was a throwback.
And he was like, damn it. And my mom was like, I don't know if this game's for you guys. And now parents are like, yeah, go play with your pedophiles online.
Yeah. Just leave me alone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's not good.
No, it's not good.
We got to get
it's
the
like,
pedophiles out of gaming.
it's a symptom
that
of
should be
like the greater
consensus.
disease in the industry a little bit is like, yeah, for every Baldur's Gate 3 that's doing the right thing, there's fucking Roblox that is just facilitating like children being groomed by pedophiles. Yeah. it's
Objectively
crazy.
not good.
No.
You heard it here first. Rad dads against that.
Yeah, we do not condone
We
that.
do not condone that. It is not good. But there's light at the end of the tunnel. Games are going in the right direction. Do you have any recommendations for us, like as casual gamers? I know you talked about Expedition 33. You said it's a beautiful game. Yeah, what's fun right now? What's popping? What are you looking forward to?
Well, I haven't really had a chance to play a whole lot recently because I'm packing up my house. I'm moving soon, so
Yeah, congrats on that.
thank you. So it's been kind of a different experience for me this summer than most, but yeah, I just want to give a shout out quickly to the fact that we have these different ways of accessing games as well. So all the companies have it. All have their online ability to like download and get games. Nintendo has all of their emulators like coming out slowly, and the Nintendo Store, and PlayStation has PlayStation Plus on the PlayStation Store. But man, like Microsoft has dropped the ball in a lot of areas and a lot of development pieces, but they are not fucking around with Game Pass. Game Pass is sick.
It's the best subscription I have.
Yeah. So if you are looking to invest in any of those platforms, that's the one. Like Game Pass is essentially doing what Google Stadia tried to do, just better. And there's always like some titles, some day one hits that come out that you can play right away. This year's game of the year for me is Expedition 33. It's beautiful. It's an amazing story. It hits all those old JRPG components, but it has like a new battle mechanic in it. It's active, so instead of just choosing the move and letting them go, there's timed button prompts that you have to hit in order to maximize your damage. The story is beautiful. The artistry in it is beautiful. All the touches and all the pieces are connected to Renaissance and French painting and like all of this stuff. It's glorious. Can't recommend it enough. It was the first game in a long time that, again, you pick it up, you play it, you can't put it down. You just couldn't put it away. And the other thing that just came out, this is what I have been wasting my time on this summer when I can intermittently. And if you have only a couple minutes, this is also perfect, is Game Pass just on the PC just recently put out all of the old Warcraft and StarCraft like stories and campaigns. So you can play Warcraft 1, 2, 3 remastered online, StarCraft 1 and 2. You can play all the campaigns. Kick back that old RTS, mouse clicking frantically, stuff with your buddies. You can set up all the old modes. You can get into the creations and stuff that people have made. It's phenomenal. It's so fun. That we're talking a lot about nostalgia. It's like that has been hitting and resonating big time for me recently. Is just the basement days of like playing Warcraft 2 and just getting frustrated because I couldn't beat the one level or whatever. And now I'm like, no, I remember what to do. I remember how to approach this. That's been a ton of fun. So can't check it out.
SC2, man. There's one I watch a ton of.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
StarCraft 1 was probably still to this day, other than Call of Duty Black Ops 3, is my most played game.
That was going to be my question to you guys. Do you know what your most played game ever is?
For me, that's easy. For me, that is like a zero brainer. If it's not Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, and I think that's just like collectively over the years of my life, I keep coming back to it. They remade it. And it's also one of those games I'm just so fucking good. Honestly,
I've seen it.
I've witnessed it. Yeah.
It just makes me feel good about myself. But the hands down answer is Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah,
that is a game that I originally had on PlayStation 4. Played it once, loved it, was just enthralled. Missed a lot of like what you can do in the game, and lived my life as an outlaw, and didn't realize that would affect me. So I actually played it simultaneously with another friend of mine. And we literally we'd play for hours and hours and hours. He was living in my basement at the time, and we would pause the game to like go just chat, be like, "Where are you? Like, where are you on the map? What have you killed? Did you get these legendary sheepskin gloves? Like, what's up?" And we both kind of finished the game at the same time, and we were comparing notes about the final cutscene. and this is how stupid I am. He was saying different things. He was like, "Oh, and then this happens." I was like, "That doesn't happen.
That's nothing.
That's not." He's like, "How did you live your life in game?" And I was like, "Oh, I killed everybody." And I was oblivious to the fact that like the way you conduct yourself in the game has implications for the story of the game. It also changes the way that you find items. The way it was a big epiphany. I could have just gone online, as you found out from the Roblox controversy and the Sydney Sweeney ad. I'm kind of not doing that. So I went back and I played it again as a good guy, and it was just as good. I got just as much from it. And then I went next gen, and I was like, well, now I have to see what the differences are. Like, it's such a beautiful game, especially in 2018. You know, I know games now, like there's. I've watched some clips of Expedition 33. Like, it's just madness. But in 2018, 2019, like, it was the pinnacle of eye candy.
Didn't get better.
Yeah. So then when it came out again, and not even a re-released version, it's the same version. It's just running on a bit better hardware. So I played it a third time, and so that might be peanuts for a guy like Darrell, but I can easily say I'm in that 300 hour plus on that game. And that's a lot of time for me. That's about as much time as I've ever played any game ever.
Yeah.
And when it comes out again, when they do, because they are talking about doing a remaster, because that's very Rockstar.
Yep.
We're gonna wait for 7 years, and they're like, we added a level. I'll buy the shit out of it.
Skyrim again.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll do Red Dead Redemption 3 after GTA 6 comes out next year.
The word on the street.
It's still 8 years down the line.
Yeah. The word on the street is that we're getting GTA 6, and then we're getting the remaster, and the remaster will have new content, will have new missions, but a genuine Red Dead Redemption 3, like that could be 2030.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least
they put a lot of time.
That
and
might
money
be
into
generous then.
Yeah.
Mine
Same
is
question. Yeah.
Well, mine is, I already kind of said it, but Black Ops 3.
Okay.
I started playing Call of Duty like World at War. I loved those games. I always loved first person shooters. And then when Black Ops 3 came out, we had just bought our first house, and I had set up like this little gaming room. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna play the shit out of this game. And it wasn't like the best one, but I got really good at it. And then around that same time, my oldest was born. And so, you know, when she was having naps or something, I was like, yeah, I'll throw you in your little like basket, and I'm going to set you right beside the couch, and I'm going to play Black Ops 3.
Hell yeah.
And I put a shitload of time in that, got really good at it, played tournaments in that game. Yeah, like was playing online ranked, like pretty highly ranked in that game. And right now I'm playing Schedule 1, and I don't think the game has enough depth to like really put in that amount of time, but it's the most time that I've put into a game in a long time, and I'm like watching my hours on Steam creep up, and it's like starting to pass all these other games I've owned for years and years and years. I'm like, okay, Schedule 1's it scratches that itch, and it's an indie game. It's like definitely
good for you.
Yeah, it's definitely not the best like art design or anything, and it's like got some weird bugs, but it's super fun.
But that you can look past those things and those pieces when the game is so enjoyable to play. It doesn't matter. Like, and that's the beauty of
and it was
those
like
games.
$9.99 on the summer sale.
Exactly.
I was like, the amount of enjoyment I got out of this $10 that I spent absolutely eclipses any possible other entertainment I could have done in that period of time.
That's not a problem, but sometimes when I turn on Game Pass, I find myself being overwhelmed.
Yeah, there's a lot of options.
Well, and there's so many games I'd love to play. You know, I have a backlog in my head of like, one of these days I'm going to play that game, and then time just keeps moving on, and more games come out. You know, like I had my eye on Octopath Traveler forever, and I had some time. This is about 2 months ago, and a friend at work was playing it. I was like, hey, I'm in, and I go on Game Pass, and it's like Octopath Traveler 2, and I'm like, oh shit,
Yeah, perfect.
Oh no, you know, like. It's hard to, and especially not knowing what you're gonna sink your teeth into. Like I had no idea when I first turned on Red Dead Redemption. Like, I'm not a GTA guy, never was. Like, I might have like ran a few people over in Vice City. I had the first one. You know, I would just immediately put in
the top down where it was like
those were glorious games.
I would just immediately put in a cheat code, get a flamethrower, and like, look out society. You know, like that was my experience with those games. Never played.
3 was amazing.
And there's amazing games, but they didn't catch my attention like Red Dead did. It just kind of happened naturally. All of a sudden, I was just like, wait a second. Like I'm ready to lay it all on the line. Like I'll never do anything else but play this game. So it's hard to find that, but when you do find it, it's a very magical feeling.
Yeah. And that's what I love about gaming. It covers so many genres. It covers so many, different interests that you can have, as your podcast does, 4 people sitting around the table or online, soon to be around the same table, and with 4 different interests that all have the same interest but very different.
Yeah,
is where I'm trying to go with that in a very roundabout way.
Very articulate.
But that's the cool thing about gaming. It's like, yeah, I love gaming. I do too. We love 2 totally different things, but we share the same passion in these experiences.
And there's a game for everybody. There's something that you can get really into. And I look at the acceptance of gaming in culture has changed so much from when we were kids. You almost had to hide how much you were into it, because when you were little, it didn't really matter. But as you got older, it was no longer losers still go down in their basement and play video games. What the fuck are you doing? And now everybody and their mom can play anything whenever, whether it's on your phone, you're playing Candy Crush or what. Games are everywhere. Everybody's playing something.
Yeah. Girls and women.
Yep.
That used to gaming when we were teenagers or kids. It was very much like a male dominated hobby. That was 100%. What boys did. You got together, you had your LAN party or whatever. And now it's I look at my daughter and all her friends, they're all playing different games. There's games that are, I don't want to say girls games because that's very reductive, but there are games that are there to market to a broader audience and to people that traditionally weren't into games. And it's cool to see, my kids growing up, my daughter, and she's into video games, not the same games I'm in, but it's fun to kind of
not the same games you're playing.
I'm also playing Roblox, but Dex, with a different perspective.
What is the best?
Yeah, there's these groomers on there.
We got him. I'm just speaking into my other microphone. We got him.
But yeah, it's fun to facilitate that with your kids too. To be like, hey,
I was trying to work in a hentai game joke there, and you fucking went full pedophile.
Sorry.
That's sick.
I was I almost said, yeah, he's just playing Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Yeah,
that's just another classic.
That's super classic. I was never allowed to rent it.
No,
for good reasons.
Me either. The only time I've ever played it is as an adult on an emulator.
And I don't know if it holds up.
It does not.
No,
It does not. It's objectively a bad game.
Okay, Darrell, here's your chance. You've already given us some world-class news about the new studio. You say you've got a season in the works right now. Is there anything you want to say about Good Enough Gaming Podcast? Where can we find you? Where can people go and see you, check you out?
So it's Good Enough Gaming Podcast. We're available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, basically anywhere you get your podcasts. We're on it. We're on YouTube. You can find us on Instagram at GEG Podcast. You can follow us separately if you want to see some in particular stuff from the 4 of us. But you can see us in person if you ever go to any of the GameCon events, and we're going to be working a little bit closely more with some of the Calgary independent game development side of things. So, if there's local gaming events, we do our best to be there when we're able, but we also have other jobs and lives, and some of us have kids, so it is tough to do, but we do our best.
Awesome. That was a great chat.
That was a fun one.
Okay, I got to go Google Sydney Sweeney.
Google her mom.
I'm going to Google her mom. You can Google the shit out of her mom. All right, stay tuned from us. We'll record sometime.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.